The snow falls thick outside Hennepin County Medical Center, coating my windshield in a white blanket that feels oddly protective. I remain still in the driver's seat, hands resting loosely in my lap, too drained to even turn the key in the ignition after 12 relentless hours on the floor. My scrubs cling to me, carrying the sterile scent of disinfectant, layered with the faint floral perfume of Mrs. Halverson, who hugged me tightly before discharge, as if gratitude could be transferred through fabric. The dashboard clock glows 8:17 p.m. in soft blue light. I should already be halfway home to Lily, but exhaustion has seeped into my bones, making movement feel optional, negotiable. Just 5 minutes, I tell myself. 5 minutes of silence before the second shift begins. Dinner, bath, medication, bedtime questions about trains. My phone vibrates against the plastic of the cup holder. The family group chat lights up the dark interior. I expect the usual reminder from Mom about Lily's bedtime schedule, or a subtle jab about how late I'm running. Instead, Ellen's message appears bright and deliberate on the screen. "We're hosting your sister Hannah's fiancé, Brad, and his family this year. There's no room for you and Lily at the table." The words don't register at first. I reread them. Once. Twice. My chest tightens. Then another message arrives. "But we'd love it if you cooked, like always." The cruelty is almost cheerful. A third chime follows. "And don't forget my Apple Watch, Series 9 this time." Dad. My fingers curl around the steering wheel, tremors traveling up my arms. The windshield fogs from my uneven breathing, snow blurring the outside world, until it feels like I'm sealed inside a glass globe. 3 years ago, I signed divorce papers in a different parking lot, while Lily slept in her car seat, clutching a stuffed elephant. I had believed moving back to Minneapolis would mean safety, familiar streets, grandparents nearby, support, stability. I convinced myself that proximity equaled love. They did help. They watched Lily after school. They picked her up when my shifts ran long. They reminded me constantly what a burden it was. Every favor itemized, every hour tallied. Love translated into debt. I close my eyes and see the pediatrician's office again, the developmental specialist explaining sensory processing, structured support, neurodivergence. Lily lining up toy cars along the exam table edge. Ellen's lips pressing thin before curving into a sympathetic smile. "We'll just make sure she learns to behave properly. No one needs to know." I had nodded then. Today the memory lands differently. Not ignorance, not confusion. Embarrassment. Brad's affluent Connecticut parents are arriving, bringing wealth and social currency. An autistic granddaughter and a nurse who works doubles do not photograph well at holiday dinners. For 12 years, I have been the invisible infrastructure of every family celebration. I financed Hannah's graduation party, catered it myself, and watched Ellen accept compliments for her menu. I used PTO to sit in surgical waiting rooms for Dad. I spent nights assembling silent auction baskets for Mom's charity galas. As her arthritis worsened, cooking quietly shifted to me full-time. No discussion required. Somewhere along the way, I stopped being a daughter and became staff. Snow thickens, blanketing the world in quiet. A memory rises uninvited. Lily at Sunday dinner, eyes bright, explaining how steam locomotives convert heat into motion. Ellen interrupting gently but firmly. Not everyone wants to hear about trains right now. Lily's confusion. The way she looked at me for translation, as if I could decode adult cruelty into something logical. The truth settles cold and clear. My family is ashamed of my daughter. Something fractures inside me, but instead of collapse, there is space, a widening. My thumb hovers over Ellen's contact, reflex urging apology. I should smooth this over. Offer to cook anyway. Suggest Lily and I celebrate earlier. Compromise. Adjust. Why does Grandma get mad when I talk about trains? I power off the phone. The engine starts. Tires crunch through fresh snow as I drive home. The usual anxiety hum is absent. In its place, clarity. Sharp. Unforgiving. That night, after Lily falls asleep with her train encyclopedia tucked against her chest, I sit at the kitchen table under fluorescent light. Phone, laptop, receipts. I scroll through years of messages. You know we can't do this without you, sweetheart. Don't make mom stress again. Each text a thread in a net I willingly walked into. I open my banking app. Transfers, contributions, emergency loans, golf clubs, engagement deposits, medication, utility bills. The St. Paul Children's Hospital fundraiser photos surface in my gallery. Ellen radiant on stage, applauded for catering she never cooked. I calculate slowly. Groceries, gifts, cash, supplies. The total climbs until my breath stutters. $11,400. 1 year. My account balance reads $438. Not enough for backup childcare. Not enough for breathing room. I pull down old photo albums. Patterns leap out at me. Hannah centered, celebrated. Me angled slightly away, holding something. Tray, gift, responsibility. A 12th birthday photo freezes me. I'm frosting my own cake while Ellen reclines with a headache. They've always seen me as the help. Tears come quietly. Not rage. Grief. Dr. Patel's voice echoes from last week's consult. You can't fix people who refuse to see you. My phone lights again. I let it ring. For the first time, I don't answer. I text Tamara at work. If my mom calls the floor, tell her I'm with a patient. We've got you, she replies instantly. The next morning, voicemails accumulate. Ellen's tone shifts from wounded to accusatory. Hannah's text escalate. You're being childish. Mom's devastated. Each ignored message feels like lifting weight off my chest. An email arrives from Dr. Patel. Dinner Saturday? My son would love to show Lily his train collection. No performance, no embarrassment, just invitation. Mrs. Johnson from next door offers to watch Lily so I can attend a support group. No expectation of repayment. At midnight, scrolling aimlessly, an advertisement catches my eye. Christmas at the Waldorf Astoria, Chicago. Train tickets, 2-night stay, Christmas brunch, $3,200. The exact amount I budgeted for family gifts. My heart pounds. I click book. Confirmation arrives instantly. I don't second guess it. 3 days later, Ellen storms into the hospital lobby, voice slicing through the controlled chaos of shift change. How dare you ignore family? Patients stare. Security intervenes. I stand still, heat flooding my face, but something steadier underneath. This is my workplace. She leaves escorted, dignity dented, but intact enough for public performance. Later, Hannah's social media post appears, a sepia photo of childhood stockings. Some people forget family comes first at Christmas. My phone floods with calls, extended relatives checking in, subtle pressure disguised as concern. That night, Lily asleep, I sit cross-legged on my bed. The apartment feels smaller but calmer. I open my contacts. Block. Ellen. Hannah. Ron. Aunt Margaret. Cousin Jeremy. Just 24 hours, I tell myself. Silence as an experiment. Then I open my email settings, creating a new filter. Family folder. Automatic redirection. No notifications. The tension in her shoulders eased slightly as she imagined the messages piling up somewhere she couldn't see them. That night, Ashley slept with interruption for the first time in years. No 2 a.m. texts from Ellen asking for recipe confirmations. No pre-dawn anxiety about forgotten family obligations. She woke feeling oddly light, as if gravity had somehow lessened overnight. Before Lily stirred, Ashley sat by the window, watching dawn break over Minneapolis. 15 minutes of silence, 15 minutes of breathing without planning anyone else's day. The apartment felt different, protected. Later, while Lily arranged her cereal into perfect concentric circles, Ashley opened a blank document on her laptop. Family patterns, she typed. The evidence flowed easily. Holidays spent cooking while others ate. Vacation days sacrificed for Ellen's charity events. Loan money never repaid. Ellen's emergencies always trumping Lily's needs. Seeing it in black and white felt simultaneously heartbreaking and validating. This wasn't normal family give and take. This wasn't love. This was exploitation with a smile. Her phone call to the therapist's office felt like crossing a border into unknown territory. First available appointment, please, she told the receptionist, regarding family boundaries. That evening, Ashley stood before her bathroom mirror. No, she practiced, watching her reflection. I won't be cooking Christmas dinner this year. Her voice wavered, then steadied with repetition. Lily and I have other plans. Lily's school holiday concert arrived with perfect December precision 2 weeks before Christmas, just as Ellen had calculated. Ashley spotted her mother and sister immediately upon entering the elementary school auditorium. They'd positioned themselves near the only exit door, a tactical choice that made Ashley's stomach clench. "There you are," Ellen hissed as Ashley approached, Lily's hand firmly in hers. "Your father's parking the car. We need to talk." After the concert, Ashley replied, guiding Lily toward the rows reserved for performers. Hannah stepped into their path. "You're being ridiculous. Mom hasn't slept in days." "My class is singing Jingle Bells," Lily announced proudly, oblivious to the tension. "I'm going to ring the bells on the chorus." Ellen ignored her granddaughter completely. "This tantrum needs to end, Ashley. You're embarrassing the family." "If you don't start answering calls," Hannah added, leaning closer, "we won't watch Lily anymore." "Then what will you do?" Ashley felt something solidified within her chest, not anger, but certainty. "I've hired an after-school sitter," she said calmly. "Lily and I won't be at Christmas." Ellen's carefully applied makeup couldn't hide her shock. "What will we tell Brad's family? They're expecting your cooking." "I'm sure you'll manage." Ashley guided Lily around them toward the stage door, not looking back at her mother's sputtering response. Dr. Patel and his wife Eliza arrived at Ashley's apartment 3 days later, bearing homemade curry and freshly baked naan. "A pre-Christmas dinner," Eliza explained, smiling warmly at Lily. "Sandeep mentioned you might need some friendly faces this week." They ate at Ashley's small kitchen table, Lily excitedly explaining the differences between Japanese and American bullet trains, while Dr. Patel listened with genuine interest. No one hushed her, no one exchanged meaningful glances when she spoke too long about one topic. The next day, a basket appeared at the nurse's station, train-themed books, wooden track pieces, and a miniature conductor's hat for Lily. The card read simply, "From your hospital family." The parent support group Ashley had joined tentatively after Lily's diagnosis shared strategies for holiday boundaries in their December meeting. "My mother-in-law used to make my son perform his normal tricks at family gatherings," one father confided. "We haven't spent Christmas with them in 3 years. Best decision we ever made." Mrs. Johnson from next door stopped by with sugar cookies. "I'll collect your mail while you're in Chicago," she offered, though Ashley hadn't mentioned the trip to anyone outside work. "This building gossips worse than my bridge club." Her supervisor approved her vacation request with a post-it note attached, "Well deserved. We've got your shifts covered." An anonymous Christmas card arrived in Ashley's mailbox containing a $100 gift card and the message, "From a fellow survivor. The first holiday away is the hardest. It gets better." Ashley was folding Lily's favorite striped pajamas into their suitcase when an unknown number flashed on her phone. She almost declined before recognizing the area code, her father's cell phone using a different number to bypass her blocking. Taking a deep breath, she answered while setting a timer for 5 minutes on her microwave. "Hello, Dad." "Ashley." Ron's voice held the practiced patience he used when explaining why bills were paid late. "Your mother hasn't slept. Is that what you wanted?" "I wanted to be treated like family," Ashley replied, surprised by the steadiness in her voice. "Not staff." The silence stretched between them, startling in its length. Ashley realized it was perhaps the first time she directly confronted her father about anything. "Everyone's upset," he finally said, sounding genuinely bewildered. "Hannah says you're abandoning family traditions. I'm starting new ones with my daughter. But Christmas has always been at our house, where I've always cooked but never been welcome at the table." Another silence, longer this time. When the microwave timer beeped, Ashley felt an odd sense of power. "I need to go now, Dad. Merry Christmas." She ended the call before he could respond. The next day, Ashley and Lily stood beneath the glittering holiday displays at the downtown department store. Christmas music swelled through hidden speakers as Lily gasped at a sparkly silver dress displayed on a child-sized mannequin. "It's perfect for the fancy hotel, Mom." Ashley checked the price tag, $78, more than she'd normally spend on a dress Lily would outgrow in months. But the light in her daughter's eyes as she twirled before the mirror made the decision simple. "Let's try it on," Ashley said. While Lily changed, Ashley browsed the women's section, fingers trailing over soft fabric she'd normally pass by as impractical. A deep green sweater caught her eye. Elegant, simple, nothing like the practical clothes she wore for hospital shifts and family cooking marathons. "You should try that on," the sales associate suggested. "That color would be stunning with your complexion." Ashley hesitated. "I don't usually."
"Mom, look!" Lily emerged from the dressing room, the silver dress catching light as she spun. "Gorgeous," Ashley breathed. "Your turn, Lily," insisted, pointing to the green sweater. In the dressing room, Ashley stared at her reflection, the sweater draped perfectly, the color warming her skin. When had she stopped buying clothes for herself? When had every spare dollar been redirected to family gifts, Hannah's celebrations, Ellen's entertaining? "You look radiant," the sales associate commented when Ashley emerged. "She's smiling like in the old pictures," Lily observed, touching the soft fabric of Ashley's sleeve. Ashley pulled out her phone, positioning Lily beside her in the mirror. "Our first Christmas trip selfie," she explained, snapping the photo. Later that evening, she posted it to her private Instagram account with the caption, "Starting New Traditions." While Lily slept, Ashley created a new digital folder on her laptop, Family History. Into it went screenshots of years of manipulative texts, spreadsheets of financial records showing the one-way flow of giving, a timeline of canceled plans to accommodate family demands, journal entries documenting emotional abuse patterns. She added photos from family gatherings, Ellen physically turning away when Lily tried to show her a drawing, Hannah accepting credit for a dessert Ashley had stayed up until 2 a.m. to perfect. She created a list titled Ellen's Credit Taking, documenting every accomplishment her mother had claimed as her own influence. Ashley's nursing degree, Hannah's law school acceptance, even Lily's early reading skills. Despite Ellen's minimal interaction with her granddaughter, the folder grew steadily, backed up to a secure cloud account. Not for sharing, just for remembering, when doubt inevitably crept back in. On December 23rd, their bags waited by the door for tomorrow's morning train. Ashley checked their tickets and hotel confirmation one last time before closing her laptop. An email notification chimed. From Hannah. Subject line, "You'll regret this." Ashley's finger hovered over the delete button. Then, remembering her documentation folder, she clicked instead. Hannah's message was brief. "If you leave town for Christmas, don't expect to be welcomed in this family again." Ashley stared at the screen, feeling a strange calm settle over her. "That sounds like freedom," she whispered to the empty room. The December morning air bites at our cheeks as Lily and I step onto the Amtrak platform. The sky stretches clear and bright above us, a perfect blue canvas that feels like permission. Lily clutches her favorite pajamas to her chest, the ones with trains that she insists on bringing despite the fact that we'll have fresh hotel linens waiting. "Mom, I packed my sketchbook and my special headphones," she says, patting her purple backpack. The noise-canceling headphones were a splurge after her diagnosis, one of the few things I bought without questioning whether we could afford it. I check our tickets one more time. A nervous habit. Minneapolis to Chicago. 2 passengers. A one-way journey to something that feels dangerously close to hope. The train gleams against the platform, its windows reflecting the winter sun. The sight studies my racing pulse. We're really doing this. We're really leaving. All aboard. The conductor's call breaks through my thoughts. Lily tugs at my hand, eyes wide with excitement. "Mom, it's time." We find our seats quickly, settling into the plush upholstery as the train lurches forward. The conductor stops by our row, his weathered face creasing into a smile as he hands Lily a paper bell ornament. "Merry Christmas, young lady," he says with a wink. Lily accepts it with reverent hands, tracing the outline with her finger. "Thank you," she whispered, the words coming easily in her delight. Her happiness is infectious, loosening the knot that's been sitting in my chest for weeks. She leans close, her breath warm against my ear. "Mom, I think this train is taking us to our real Christmas." Something catches in my throat as I nod. Out the window, Minneapolis begins to slide away. The hospital, where I've worked double shifts. The apartment where we've lived small, careful lives. And somewhere beyond the skyline, the house where I stopped being a daughter and became the help. With each mile, I feel the weight lifting. I deliberately leave my phone in my purse, silencing the shrill demands of guilt. For once, there is only forward motion. Lily opens her sketchbook, the fresh page bright under the cabin lights. She begins to draw snowflakes, each one unique and intricate. Below them, she carefully prints the words, "Real Christmas," in her neat handwriting. I watch her work, marveling at how easily children embrace new beginnings. Back in Minneapolis, I know they're already moving against us. I can picture Ellen, her manicured nails clutching the phone as she calls the hospital administration. "It's a family emergency," she'd say, voice trembling with practiced concern. "I'm worried about Ashley's mental state. She's taken her daughter and disappeared." Hannah would be contacting my few friends, spinning tales of concern. "We're just worried about her. She's been under so much stress lately. And with Lily's situation, well, we just want to make sure they're both okay." And Ron, always the background player, would be reaching out to Lily's school counselor, suggesting an unstable home situation that requires monitoring. Their coordinated attack would be unfolding precisely as I'd anticipated, a narrative carefully constructed to undermine my independence, to paint me as unstable rather than awakened. Text messages would be flying to mutual acquaintances, filled with words like ungrateful and concerning behavior. Ellen would be calling relatives, her voice breaking as she delivered the most devastating line in her arsenal. "She's taken our granddaughter at Christmas." But I've prepared for this. 3 days before our departure, I'd spoken with Dr. Sanchez, the hospital administrator who oversees my department. "My family's situation has become difficult," I'd explained, laying out just enough truth to inoculate against Ellen's inevitable call. "If anyone contacts you expressing concern about my mental state, please know it's part of a pattern of control." Dr. Sanchez nodded, her dark eyes understanding. "Family dynamics can be complicated. Take your approved vacation days, Ashley. Your work speaks for itself." I'd sent a detailed email to Mrs. Peterson, Lily's school counselor, documenting our boundary-setting journey and the family's reaction. "I'm concerned they may attempt to undermine my parental authority by suggesting instability," I'd written. "We are simply taking a Christmas vacation to Chicago." And now, as the Minnesota countryside rolls past our window, I pull out my phone just long enough to post a brief factual statement on social media. Lily and I are enjoying a special Christmas trip this year. I attach a photo of Lily smiling with the Chicago skyline visible from our train window. Happiness is the best defense. I switch my phone to Do Not Disturb, allowing calls only from work and the handful of people who've shown themselves to be true friends. Then I tuck it away, returning fully to this moment of quiet triumph. The train rocks gently as we speed toward Chicago. Lily has fallen asleep, her head resting against my shoulder. Her fingers still clutch the paper belt ornament, unwilling to let go of this small kindness even in sleep. Hours later, we step into the gleaming lobby of the Waldorf Astoria, Chicago.
Gold lights shimmer across marble surfaces, creating an atmosphere of magic that makes Lily gasp. The Christmas tree soars toward the ceiling, adorned with ornaments that catch and reflect the light. "Welcome to the Waldorf Astoria," the receptionist says, her smile genuine as she hands me our room keys. "Will you be dining with us for our Christmas Eve dinner tomorrow?" "Yes," I answer, the words still feeling foreign and luxurious on my tongue. "We have reservations." Lily spots something across the lobby and flaps her hands in excitement, a physical expression of joy she can't contain. I brace myself for the familiar looks, the raised eyebrows, the subtle shifting away that I've learned to anticipate in public spaces. But they don't come. The staff continue their work, a bellhop smiles in Lily's direction, and no one stares or judges. They simply accept her enthusiasm as natural, as something requiring no correction or apology. A realization washes over me with such force that I have to steady myself against the marble counter. This is how it should always be. Lily looks up at me, her eyes bright with the same understanding. "They don't mind me being me," she whispers. I nod, unable to speak past the lump in my throat. We deserve this treatment always. We are not the problem. We never were. That evening, after Lily has fallen asleep in our king-sized bed, I sit by the window overlooking the twinkling city and write in my journal. We are not the problem. We never were. The words look different written down, more permanent, more true. My phone buzzes with a notification that bypasses the Do Not Disturb setting. It's a text from Dr. Patel. "Ellen called the hospital. I told her you're exactly where you should be." I smile, picturing Ellen's frustration at finding her usual tactics failing. By now, she's likely escalated to calling the Chicago police for a wellness check, desperate to regain control. Let them come. When they arrive, they'll find a happy, well-cared-for child and a mother who has finally found her voice. They'll see what Ellen has refused to see, that love doesn't demand servitude, that family isn't measured in meals cooked, but in respect given. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. For the first time in years, I feel the holiday's promise of peace. Not because I've silenced myself to keep others comfortable, but because I've finally spoken the truth loud enough for myself to hear it. As I close my journal, my phone buzzes again. A text from Hannah. "Mom's losing it. She accidentally sent a message to the wrong group chat saying, 'We can't tell the Bradley she refused. Just say she's working Christmas.' Several family friends were included. Everyone knows now." I set the phone down without responding. The truth is emerging without my effort. The carefully constructed family image is crumbling under the weight of its own deception. Outside our window, snow begins to fall, gentle flakes descending on a city that has unexpectedly become our sanctuary. Tomorrow will bring its own challenges, but tonight, in this moment, we are exactly where we should be. Christmas morning finds us in the golden glow of the Waldorf Astoria's grand dining room. Lily spreads strawberry jam on her third piece of toast, her eyes wide at crystal chandeliers above us. She's wearing the sparkly dress we bought specially for this occasion, and her hair is neatly brushed. No rushing this morning, no tense family breakfast with Mom's disapproving glances. My phone vibrates on the table. Ellen's name flashes on the screen. The third call in 20 minutes. I silence it and turn it face down, refusing to let her intrude on our peace. But a voicemail notification appears seconds later, and something tells me I should listen. "Ashley." My mother's voice sounds strained, theatrical. "I'm in the hospital. My heart. The doctors aren't sure what's happening. Please come home. Lily needs her grandmother. I need my daughter." I stare at the phone, that familiar twist of panic and guilt rising in my chest. But something feels wrong. 3 years of nursing at Hennepin County Medical Center has taught me the rhythm of real emergencies. "More pancakes, Mom?" Lily asks, oblivious to manipulation attempting to breach our sanctuary. "In a minute, sweetheart." I step away from our table and call Sandra, my friend in hospital administration back in Minneapolis. "Ellen Miller?" "No, we don't have any admission under that name today." Sandra confirms after checking. Nothing at Abbott or Methodist either. Are you okay, Ash? The relief that flooded me is immediately followed by a cold anger. While I'm watching Lily delight on Christmas morning, my mother is fabricating medical emergencies to regain control. Back at the table, my phone lights up with a text from Hannah. Just call Mom. She's falling apart. You've made your point. Then Ron. Haven't you punished us enough? It's Christmas, for God's sake. Cousin Jill. Ellen is devastated. What kind of daughter abandons her family at Christmas? Uncle Pete. Your mother raised you better than this. The coordinated guilt offensive would have worked perfectly a week ago. I would have been packing our bags, apologizing for ruining Christmas, promising to make it up to them. I forward the screenshots to Dr. Brennan, my therapist. Her response comes quickly. Textbook manipulation. Stay strong. This is why we prepared. AT. The messages continue through brunch. Ellen's escalation is impressive in its desperation. I'm contacting Lily's school tomorrow. They should know you're mentally unstable. Hannah follows with, Mom's talking about getting a lawyer. Don't make this worse. Ron's contribution cuts deep. Your job could be at risk if we have to involve authorities. The final message arrived at 12:17 p.m. Call by 3 p.m. or consider yourself disowned. This is your last chance, Ashley. I set my phone down, my hands trembling slightly. Ellen has enlisted her charity board friends now. Their messages of concern flood my inbox. The pressure feels almost physical, like the air itself is constricting around me. Mom? Lily's voice breaks through my thoughts. She's standing beside me, concern etching her small features. Your phone keeps making noise. Are we in trouble? What's wrong? She asks, her voice small. Grandma left a message saying she's sick, but she's not really in the hospital, is she? Is she lying? Lily's directness cuts to the heart of it. Yes, sweetheart. I guide her to a quiet corner of the dining room, away from other guests. Sometimes people say things that aren't true to make us do what they want. Lily considers this, her brow furrowed in concentration. Then her face brightens with recognition. Like when Tommy at school says he won't be my friend if I talk about trains? The parallel strikes me with such clarity that I almost laugh. Exactly like that, sweetheart. That's not very nice, Lily says firmly. No, it's not. I touch her cheek gently, and we don't have to do what people want just because they try to make us feel bad. We return to our suite after brunch. While Lily arranges her new colored pencils by the window overlooking Michigan Avenue, I open my laptop and create a private blog. I title it Our Little Escapes and write our first post.
If they don't save you a chair, build your own table. I added a photo of Lily and me at brunch, our faces relaxed and genuinely happy. Possibly the first authentic Christmas photo we've had in years. The clock on my phone shows 2:37 p.m. Ellen's ultimatum looms, but I feel strangely calm. I silence my phone and join Lily at the window, watching holiday shoppers bustling on the street below. 3 o'clock comes and goes without acknowledgement. A weight lifts from my shoulders as I realize I've been holding my breath for years. What my family doesn't know is how methodically I've prepared for this moment. Hospital administration has been briefed on potential interference from Ellen. Lily's school counselor has documentation about our healthy boundary setting. Dr. Brennan's records establish my mental stability. Our finances, though tight, are independent and secure. The evidence folder sits untouched in my cloud storage. Its power lies in having it, not using it. Later that evening, I composed a single email to my family. My tone is professional, calm, without accusation. I am open to a relationship under these conditions: respect for Lily, no demands for unpaid labor, and acknowledgement of past behavior. Professional family therapy would be required before any meaningful reconciliation. I attach selected screenshots of manipulative text spanning years and a simple spreadsheet showing the one-way financial relationship. $11,400 given to family in the past year alone. The facts speak for themselves. I end with, I am not angry. I am awake. The following day, I learned from Hannah's fiancé Brad that his father, a child psychologist, facilitated a difficult conversation with my family. He provided a professional perspective on Ellen's behavior patterns. Hannah began questioning her lifelong role as the golden child. Ron spoke independently of Ellen, a first in their marriage. Brad himself is reconsidering his relationship with Hannah, seeing familiar warning signs. Ellen's authority in the family has diminished permanently.
The power dynamics that kept me trapped for years have shattered. For the first time, I hold firm without emotional investment in the outcome. A week after Christmas, a letter arrives from Hannah, forwarded by Mrs. Johnson. I examine the Minneapolis postmark, feeling a strange detachment as I open it. The first line is visible as I unfold the paper. I'm starting therapy next week. I look at it for a long moment, surprised by genuine change, where I expected more manipulation. Then I carefully fold it again and set it aside. I'll read it when I'm ready. The power to engage on my terms feels like the greatest gift I've ever received. 4 months later, the Minneapolis spring sun streamed through Ashley's kitchen window, melting the last patches of stubborn snow outside. She sipped her coffee, watching a robin tug at a worm in the newly exposed soil of her small garden patch. Nature's reset button had been pushed, and not just outside her window. "Mom, can we see the seals at the zoo in San Diego?" Lily's voice carried from her bedroom, where she was arranging her train models by historical era. "Absolutely, and the pandas, too." Ashley opened her laptop to check their flight details for next month's trip. After Chicago at Christmas, she'd promised Lily they would make these adventures a tradition. Just the two of them, exploring the world at their own pace. She clicked over to her blog, Our Little Escapes. 3,000 followers now. Not massive by influencer standards, but substantial for what it was. A community of people reclaiming their lives from toxic family dynamics. The comment section of her latest post brimmed with stories similar to hers, each one a mirror, reflecting different angles of the same painful truth. "I set my first boundary last week. My hand shook, but I did it. After reading your Chicago story, I booked my own solo trip for Easter. Your words gave me permission to stop answering my mother's 3 a.m. calls." Her phone buzzed with a text notification. "Hannah." Ashley's heart no longer raced with anxiety when her sister's name appeared. 4 months of therapy had changed that reaction. Found a vintage Union Pacific dining car model at an estate sale. Thought Lily might like to add it to her collection. Coffee next Tuesday? Ashley smiled. Their relationship existed in a delicate state of rebuilding. Weekly therapy for Hannah. Monthly joint sessions for them both. No contact with Ellen still. That healing required more distance. Ron occasionally met them for coffee. Baby steps, as her therapist called them. Last week, he'd asked Lily about her favorite train engines, and his interest had seemed genuine. Same characters, completely different dynamics. Dr. Reynolds needs coverage for the pediatric wing this weekend. Her colleague's voice carried an apologetic tone over the phone. "I know it's your weekend off, but she specifically asked for you, said you're the only one who can handle the staffing coordination and the new charting system." Ashley recognized the old pattern, the unspoken expectation that she would sacrifice her plans, her needs, her boundaries, because someone else couldn't handle their responsibilities. The familiar weight of obligation pressed on her chest. She paused, taking a deep breath. "I can cover Saturday morning until 2, but I promised Lily we'd visit the Science Museum exhibit that closes Sunday. I'll need someone else to take the evening and Sunday shifts. But Dr. Reynolds specifically..." "I understand, and I'm happy to help within those parameters. The staff scheduling template I created should make it easier for whoever covers the rest." After the call ended, Ashley waited for the familiar wave of guilt to crash over her. It never came. Instead, she felt a quiet certainty in her choice. In her journal later that evening, she wrote, "I am not responsible for others' happiness. Today marks 1 year since I first understood that." The weekend arrived with sunshine and unexpected joy. Ashley had invited a small gathering to her apartment, her chosen family. Dr. Patel and his wife brought homemade samosas. Mrs. Johnson from next door cherried in a potted orchid. 3 friends from her support group arrived with sparkling cider. Lily proudly showed her train collection to attentive guests who asked questions about steam engines and track gauges. No one hurried for explanations or exchanged meaningful glances over her head. Dr. Patel raised his glass as they gathered around Ashley's table, a vintage farmhouse piece she'd found at a flea market and refinished herself. To Ashley, who showed us all what courage looks like. Laughter and genuine conversation filled the rooms. No tension, no walking on eggshells, just joy. Home had finally become a sanctuary.